UHF.
The following may upset you. It may even shock you.
I'm Chris Bauer, and I am an art slinger. I travel around the U.S. selling artwork at comic and anime conventions, and while I'm there, I like to check out cool sights, eat great food, and see all the places my favorite movies and TV shows are made. Welcome to Sets, Streets, and Eats. So I am in Tulsa. Sorry about the wind. It is very windy today. I'll try to talk close to the microphone, but I'm in Tulsa to check out the filming locations for one of my favorite comedies of the early 90s, late 80s, early 90s, and that's Weird Al's UHF. And I'm actually at the home of what would be called UHF Channel 62, or at least what's left of it. And there's the tower, but unfortunately, the building has since been torn down.
I don't know about this, George. I don't know the first thing about what goes.
There's what's left of the sidewalk that went up to the building. You can still see well, the greenhouses were actually in the film. They've been rebuilt. This one is most prominently had that green roof, but they're walking in this angle. You can see those in the background of the shot there. Of course, the trees are all here now because nature has pretty much taken over what's left of this parking lot. This one's just like came up right in the middle of it. Nothing stops nature. They actually would have entered in over there and driven around, and that looks, you can kind of see that the trees are there, but it's all still there basically, but it's just kind of covered up. But if you know what you're looking for, you can see it. One of my favorite parts is the ending, obviously. I mean, all the big crowds out here in this parking lot, and it's that telethon, and they're trying to get it, and then they own it. They get it, and the whole crowd goes nuts. It's a really good, feel-good ending to the movie, and Michael Richards is standing up in that Jeep, and everybody's cheering and everything. I really enjoyed UHF when I was a kid, because it's a movie about weird people. It's a movie about being weird and being accepted for it, finally. Especially in a time, 1989, 90, when being weird was still weird. It wasn't really accepted as often as it is now, obviously. And just being different, and that was a movie a little ahead of its time. I think that's why it didn't find its audience until home video and VHS and DVD and so on, because it's a cult classic. But unfortunately, when it came out, it wasn't as popular as it could have been. So, it's hard to tell because of the very much overgrown foliage that wasn't there for the movie, but this is where the fictional cable network Channel 8 was filmed. They used the exteriors for this building for several scenes. Victoria Jackson pulling up over here and going in where George meets her. Stanley Spakowski, played by Michael Richards, just before he went on to Seinfeld. He was the janitor here, and of course went to work for George. So one of the actual pivotal scenes of the movie, or one of my favorite scenes, I love the bum. I love that they used this bum who, man, I forget the actor's name, but just killed it. He was always looking for a dime, and of course he, not a cost, but comes running up to R.J. Fletcher, the ultimate bad guy, the head of Channel 8, right here, to ask for a dime. And then, of course, those dimes come into a play later in the movie. But yeah, this is Channel 8. A lot of it looks the same. They shot through the lobby windows here to see Victoria Jackson pull into those right there. And then she walks up and goes on in and sees the rest of them. It's pretty cool. So as I was shooting in front of Channel 8, originally this was the HP, Hewlett-Packard building, which I thought is what it was, and then it later got bought by the hotel group. However, now it is owned by the U.S. Department of Energy, and apparently they just bought it, but I got run off by a security guard who came out and wanted to make sure I hadn't filmed anything, and that next week there will be a gigantic iron fence with barbed wire all the way around the building. So this may be the last time movie location enthusiasts get to be in front of Channel 8.
I can't believe it. Oh, thanks, mister. Thanks a lot.
Well, I think the fries are just about done.
Oh, jeez, you better not let Big Edna see that. She'll have a fit.
Big Edna. Big Edna. You sound like a broken record. Why are you so afraid of that pathetic tub of lard?
It doesn't look like the kitchen has changed a whole lot, or really the interiors of the restaurant, I'm guessing. So I'm in front of what was used as Big Edna's. This is where George and his buddy worked. Well, for a short time, then they got fired and thrown out by Big Edna herself. So it's called the Naughty Pig now. Unfortunately, it's closed today. I was hoping to be able to grab some lunch there, but what are you gonna do? Now they've added this courtyard area since the movie was filmed. But otherwise, it looks pretty much the same. Obviously, no sign on top, but you know. Big Edna would have brought them out those doors and then launched them. And they would have landed over there. I love that movie.
How could you do this to me? I knew this was gonna happen.
You're right, Bob. I'm sorry. What can I say? I'm a miserable, worthless hunk of slime.
So here we are at Weird Al Yankovic, his character George Newman, his apartment, which is right next to Cooney's Karate School, which obviously these trees have grown, or actually they weren't even there. That sign, the pay to park sign, is right there. That's still there. But this is where they shot the exteriors for those scenes. These first two are a couple, they're like garage doors now, but the windows look similar to what they were. This one on the end's changed, and the entrance has changed, obviously. But the top windows where the karate school was, totally the same. And it's a brewery now, which I've never eaten at, but I'm certain is delicious and thirst quenching.
Hey, Cooney!
Hiya, George.
Beginner's class today, huh?
Yeah, they're so stupid.
These are the windows that you see Cooney, which it's completely obscured by the tree, but Cooney's leaning out this window talking to George, who's standing right here. And then these two windows, right there and there, have people thrown out. It looks like they're apartments now. Just like they were in the movie. I think I've probably quoted Cooney's stupid line like, you know, a million times in my life. UHF, it's still quotable.
Stupid!
Honey, where's the spatula?
Okay, kids, let's go.
So, one of my favorite parts of UHF is Spatula City, the commercial. It starts with the dad coming into the kitchen for the commercial, and I don't know who mixed the sound for the movie, but the smack that they gave the dad on his forehead was so over the top. It was almost like the editor just went down the list like, oh, pimp slap from a 1970s film. Perfect. But this is the store that stood in for Spatula City for the commercial. They actually did a full billboard, which is in the commercial as well. And after they filmed the billboard, they left it up for like 2 months, and people were getting off at the exit it's next to, constantly looking for Spatula City. Their deal was terrible. Buy 9 spatulas, get the 10th one for a penny. Not really sure how feasible that deal would be, but nevertheless, this is where they filmed it. It's now called Cox Cash Saver, which for UHF it seems kind of an appropriate name, but one of the indicators that you can tell that the building still looks the same right here in the commercial. Obviously the color of the awning has changed, and the sign obviously. Too bad it doesn't have the big spatulas coming out of the top, which would be amazing.
My, where did you get that lovely spatula?
Hey man, this is Raul Hernandez, and welcome to Raul's Wild Kingdom.
So one of the best parts of UHF is Raul's Animal Kingdom, and it's fantastic. I think I've quoted Nature's Suction Cup about turtles pretty much every time I've ever looked at a turtle since the movie came out. But one of the best scenes is teaching poodles how to fly, and behind me is the building. So the window up here, I always get that backwards. That was where they filmed the exteriors. That was Raul's window. That middle window, the poodles are coming out, and they're making a poodle puddle there at the bottom, because you know poodles can't fly. So another great scene is right here out front. The truck pulls up, and they're giving him animals for his next show, and of course they lift the Humphrey Bogart line from Treasures of the Sierra Madre and change it a little, and the guy tells him he's getting badgers, and of course he does. Badgers?
We don't need no stinking badgers! Oh, man!
So the interior scenes for pretty much every location for UHF were filmed at a place at the time called Kensington Galleria. I think it's either a business complex or a mall now. I can't remember which. So there's nothing obviously left, but basically it was just a big empty building that they built or used as a soundstage and built the sets in. So that was pretty much all the interiors. That was right here in Tulsa as well. And then obviously all the exteriors were all filmed on the streets of Tulsa, which we've seen more than a few. Basically, it's never mentioned in the film that they're in Tulsa. Weird Al gave a really good explanation on the DVD commentary that they released for I think it was the 25th anniversary. But he just he wanted to make it like a Simpsons Springfield kind of scenario where you weren't really sure where it was, but it was obviously just a Midwest town. It was really cool seeing all the places that movie was made. A lot of them look really similar or right on from what they used to be in the movie. Doesn't look like a ton has changed here, but it's actually a really cool town, and it's got a very rich movie history. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Set Streets and Eats, and we'll see you on down the road.